I can't do it for you. Your friend can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself because you're the only one who knows what's going on in your head. Welcome to the Mind Body Podcast. I'm your host, Maria Angelova, and I'm here to challenge everything you have been told about aging and wellness. This podcast is for those who refuse to accept that growing old means growing unhealthy. Each week, I will bring you dynamic conversations with inspirational guests, sharing practical advice, insights, and motivation to live your life rebelliously as you age with grace and vitality. This is your time to embrace self-care, transformation, and an infectious spirit that says no to the conventional and yes to a vibrant, powerful life. Let's dive in and redefine what it means to live well. Hi, Rebels, and welcome to the Mind Body Podcast, your rebellious podcast with me, your host, Maria, where today we get to dive into a topic that I think it's a total game changer, and that is discovering what the purpose of life is and how you can create a life that is in alignment with that universal law. So let's dive right in. Okay. There are so many people in the world, and there are so many people who have different opinions on exactly the same subject. And nowadays, we get to be so influenced by social media, by the news. If you think about 20 years ago, how you had to be intentional to find the news, go get the newspapers, the subscription magazine that you were a part of, versus today, news and updates are at the tip of your fingers and they're constantly bombarding us. We are so much more connected, and there is a slew and a variety of opinions around us. And many times there is such a variety of opinions that how do you know which one is the right one? All right, let me remind you that the way that we think, our subconscious is influenced by the way that we were raised, by the conditions that we were raised, by our parents, by our grandparents, by our extended family, the community that we grew up in, the society we grew up in, the religion that we were influenced by. There's so many factors that go in. And all of these things go into what I call our database and influence how we see the world, which is no surprise that you could have 2 or 5 or 10 people that see exact same issue from a variety of different perspectives and angles. So how do you know who is right and who is wrong? Are you ready for the big secret? The big secret is that the purpose of life is creation and expansion. So, how do we know what is the truth, the universal truth? Whatever the universal truth is, it aligns with creation and expansion. So let's dive in and talk a little bit more about that. What on earth does that mean? Creation, like creating a painting, expansion, like expanding a business. Kind of, sort of, but it is related to you personally as a person. You see, the way that what you believe influences the way that you think. The way that you think gives birth to emotions. Those emotions get you to take action or lack of action, which then produces your results. The results that you produce day over day and the reasoning that I just explained that goes behind it creates your habits, and those create your personality. Those also create your state of being. And here is the trick. Many of us live from the state of our past. We live based on things that we were taught into our past, perhaps things that were passed on from generation to generation, and we never really questioned them because you believe them, your parents believed them, your grandparents believed them, the community that you're in believes them, and you never pause and ask, is that really the truth? Now, if right now, if you're having light bulb moments and stuff is coming in, that is totally okay. Please meet yourself wherever you are. This does not come from a place of judging yourself, beating on yourself, insulting yourself. This is a beautiful journey of self-discovery. And I'll tell you, if 8 years ago, I don't know that I would have appreciated this podcast episode as a listener, because I would have been like, what on earth is she talking about? Because I was not even aware #awareness, step number 1 of any of these. I just believed what I did and it was kind of sort of working for me and I just kept along with it. And here is the tricky part. Is it working for you? And how do you know if it is working or not? Well, your state of being, how are you feeling? How is your body feeling? Are you feeling elevated, feeling great, light, calm, peaceful? Or the flip side, heavy, tense, irritable, snappy? Your body is giving you feedback about your state of being. Your body is actually pointing to you and directing you and telling you where there are opportunities to seek the truth. Because when we are out of alignment with ourselves, we feel that. And we feel that and we tap into what we feel when we are aware. And many are lacking that awareness. Many are going through the hamster wheel. And here I ask you, in your daily life, are you on a path of creation and expansion? Or are you going through the motion on the hamster wheel day in and day out? Because you could be consciously creating, or you can be unconsciously repeating. And the latter does not create. The latter does not expand. The latter likely keeps you stuck. And that feeling of stuckness does not feel good. Speaking of not feeling good, let's talk about something else that's really important in this context, which is self-care comes in big time. And that is your state, the state of being of your nervous system. So when we are in sympathetic nervous system overdrive, that is when we are in fight or flight, when we are again stressed, when we're not sleeping, when we're not eating, when we're not moving, we're constantly panicking, and when we are reactive to life, that is not a place when we can create from. Why? Because in that state of mind, your brain completely shuts down, and the only purpose that your brain can see in that moment is survival. I just need to make it through. There is no thinking outside the box. There is no creativity. There is no different type of solutions. You're doing what you're doing, simply surviving. And do you know any people who are simply surviving day to day? And I'm not talking like surviving like you don't have food on your table, but I'm talking like, man, life is burdensome and life is a rush. And pause for a second and ask yourself, today, how many moments did you have when you experienced true joy with your entire being? When you're present? And right now, are you truthfully being present and giving me your full attention? Or are you doing 3 other things? All of those things are symptoms of an overdrive. Flip the switch and you have the parasympathetic nervous system. That is the system of rest and digest. That is where creativity thrives. That is where your solution outside of the box, when you're thinking outside of the box and you come up with a different type of solutions. That is where you can connect to people differently. That is where you're curious. Why? Because you are not in survival mode. You are open. And speaking of openness, let's talk about that. That is also critical for growth and expansion. Growth, curiosity, and open-mindedness. Because if we are like, well, this is how it is, and that's the only way, and that's the only truth, and there are like 50 people around you who see a different truth. So what makes you think your truth is the right one versus the person next to you? Who decides which truth is the right one? And the truth is, there is only one universal truth. Hey Rebels, I want to take a quick moment to share something super exciting with you. If you've been feeling stuck, disconnected, or just know there is more to life than what you're experiencing, I have something special for you. I have created a powerful 6-step video series called Unleash Your Potential, an introduction to the Angelova method. As a valued Mind-Body podcast listener, the series is my gift to you. In this series, I will guide you through the core elements of the Angelova method, a unique approach that integrates movement, mindset, and mastery to help you align your body, mind, and life. You will learn practical techniques to improve your alignment, boost your core strength, and connect deeply to your inner self. Whether you're looking to enhance your physical health, gain mental clarity, or simply live more fully, these videos are designed to get you started on the path to your most vibrant self. And the best part? It's completely free. So if you're ready to break through barriers and unleash your full potential, head over to mindbodyexpert.com and get started today. Let's take this journey together, because you, my rebel, deserve nothing less than the extraordinary. And how can you tell if you're living according to that truth? You can check in with yourself of whatever you're believing. Is it from an elevated state? Is it a state that you feel, again, elevated and calm and loving, empathetic, compassionate, understanding? Or are you living in a state of reaction, confusion, hatred? Perhaps that's a big one, right? Guilt, perhaps grief. And is your truth a win-win-win solution for you and everyone around you? That is very important, because when I create at your expense, that is not serving us collectively. Because you see, we might be in different countries, we might be very far apart, but there is something that unites us. We are all human, and collectively there is something called collective energy. We are connected regardless of the difference, regardless of how we think. And when something doesn't go right for you, even if I don't know you, collectively that impacts the world. So in order for our vibrations and the consciousness of the world to rise up, each and every one of us, kind of so to say, needs to be on board. Every one of us should be consciously awakened and understanding of what is the universal truth. Universal truth thrives when there is harmony, when there is balance, when there is love. If you think about it, it's very symbolic to the sympathetic versus parasympathetic nervous system. If the world around you is the one that I described for the sympathetic nervous system, that is not where you can thrive. That goes along with the community that's around you. Are the people around you high vibrational? Are they the ones who cheer you, support you, encourage you? Also question your beliefs. Those are good friends. The ones who say, well, have you thought about that? The ones who ask you questions, not to piss you off, but to get you to perhaps open your mind and to get curious. Because curiosity is what awakens our awareness to, how can I see what I'm seeing right now, the situation, the person, the circumstance, differently? Because you see, the way you see the world and the way I see the world totally has to do with the lens that we're putting in front of the world. And a lot of that is a choice to choose to think differently. Because even though our decision making is taught to be by the conscious mind, which is the mind of logic, common sense, reasoning, actually, most of our decisions do not come from the conscious mind. Most of our decisions are driven by our subconscious, which most of us are completely unaware of what's happening in there. And what we're doing, instead of moving forward to creating the life that we want and expanding, we're bringing along the past, our past beliefs, our past experiences, and recreating the same results. You cannot create different results if you carry the same beliefs. So your world, your life will change. You'll create and expand when you evolve into the way that you think. That is what we call the conscious awakening. I can't do it for you. Your friend can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, because you're the only one who knows what's going on in your head, right? So, are you creating? Are you expanding? When you do that for yourself, that will impact your family, your community, ultimately the world. So ideally, we want to have every human being on a growth path so that our world can be positively influenced, so that our world can be one of creation and expansion. And again, That can only happen when we are all balanced. When we're snappy and reactive and insulting each other and we're polarized and we can't talk to each other, we cannot create and expand. Actually, the opposite happens. And actually, if you look at the circumstances around you and the results around you, they're giving you very clear indication of where we are as a humanity, where you are in your personal life. Check in with your body. How is your body feeling? Your body is giving you feedback right now in this moment, feedback to your state of being. The way you communicate, the way you interact, whether you're responsive or reactive, the choice of words, the kindness that you send to others, the compassion, gives you a state of being of where you are, right? So where are the opportunities to grow as a human? Let's take a practical example. For example, let's take you have a job. And that job, you have an amazing title, you have climbed the ranks, you have a great salary, great bonus, great benefits, but you don't love the team. The work is kind of like mind-dulling. Oh, do I have to do this another day? You get up and you dread going into the office because it's boring, the vibes of your colleagues, the leadership in the company is not aligned with your values. Why do you stay? What is the belief system that's going in the background? The background may sound something like, well, stability is important for me. I have financial safety through this job. I am too old to find another job. And so forth and so forth and so forth. And all of that belief system, which is in the background, is getting you to not take the action to take another job because you have that belief system. And guess what? If that's what you believe, that's what your reality will reflect. So in order to see a different reality, you have to change the thinking. You have to take a different action and put yourself in a company that aligns with your values, that the culture aligns with you, that you love the vibes, that the projects stimulate you, and so forth. When you stay into this example, into a job that doesn't fulfill you, satisfy you, that is not soul aligned with you, you are actually doing yourself a disservice because you're out of alignment with yourself and you're not stepping into your purpose. You see, this is guiding you. That misalignment is actually guiding you to take a different action, to step forward so that you can be in alignment with yourself and grow and expand. But that is a choice you have to make. And that is usually an uncomfortable choice, which is why most people choose comfort. And then they just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again, despite the fact that they're absolutely miserable. And then what might happen so that you can know reality? You can start drinking. You can start overindulging in social media, in shopping, in drugs, whatever. You may go into behaviors that allow you to avoid reality instead of facing reality. And what is my reality asking me to do? Because you see, life is guiding you, my friend. Life is guiding you to move forward. If your body is giving you feedback that you don't feel good when you're in the office, that is a nudge. That's telling you choose something different. But it's that background noise that's preventing you from making the choice. So instead of you growing and stepping into your potential and contributing, you're playing it small. And you know what? That is impacting, yes, you. That is impacting like your friends and family, because when you come home, you're probably not your happy self. That is also impacting the company because the company is not getting your brilliance and your energy. So this is a lose for everybody. And if you're in leadership right now, that is something to consider. If your employees are not creating and innovative, if they're wiped out and exhausted, and they are doing what they're supposed to because you're telling them to, not because they're inspired and eager, that's going to be reflected in the quality of the services and products you provide, into your interaction with your clients. You're going to see your shareholders being impacted by that. I mean, that just keeps going and going and going. Because again, this is not a one-person thing. It starts with one person, but it spreads out to the world. So today, I invite you, if you like to journal, or perhaps you don't, but today is a great experience to do so. Write about what is an area of my life that I'm perhaps not growing or expanding. Again, I ask you, don't come from a point of judgment towards yourself, because you're learning and growing. How amazing it is that you're learning something new and that you're thinking. Even considering, like, wow, maybe there is an area that I can expand in. Or maybe go take a walk outside and watch nature. Watch how incredible nature is and how nature flows. Unless humans get involved, right? And look at the grandeur that's around you. Like you, my friend, you, my rebel, are a part of that. So what do you say? What about you stepping into your purpose? How about you choosing to keep your cup full? How about you choose to stay in alignment with yourself, to care for your mind, body, and spirit, so that you can tap into your intuition, into that sixth sense, and trust and be led forward so that you can create and expand? Can you for a second imagine what that's going to do for you? Can you feel that? And can you feel the incredible effect that is going to have for your community, for your family, for your friends, for the world, when each and everyone steps into creation and expansion? Soulful is what it feels like. So today I wrap up by asking you, are you creating? Are you growing? Are you elevating? Are you expanding? Are you creating and stepping into the life that you wish to live? Are you coming from a place of high vibrations and love and compassion and empathy? I send you so much love. Please do make sure to share this message, like, comment. Do tell me what you think. I love connecting with you. I love getting our brains to go back and forth and to expand and to learn more about each other's and each other's histories. And let's create lives and a world that's not based on our past, but one when everyone is happy and loved and respected as human. I remind you to stay rebellious, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for joining us on the Mind Body Podcast, where we explore the power of living authentically and rebelliously. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow rebellious soul who would love to hear what we share as much as you do. Stay strong, stay calm, and most importantly, stay rebellious. Until next time, rebellious souls, keep living fully. Your journey is just beginning.